Yes. What's going on, family? What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's session with your boy Abel. Super excited to be here with every single one of you guys today. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yes. What's going on, family? How you guys feeling today? Go ahead and drop those locations in the chat. Go ahead and drop those locations in the chat. Let me know where you guys are plugged in from today, because we are live back with another session for you guys all tonight. Doing a market recap. Guys, of what happened today. And then seeing what we can look for going into tonight and into tomorrow morning as well. All right, so we got a lot to talk about today, family. Let's get it. I see we got ATL in the building. We got New York City in the house. We got Rhode Island stand up. Arkansas. I see y'all. Miami. Trinidad and Tobago. What's going on, Warren? Good to see you in the chat. Let's see what else we got in the building today. Chicago checking in. What's going on? Shout out to Chicago squad. All right, appreciate y'all for tuning in for sure. Super grateful to be here with every single one of y'all. I see we got the Bull City in the building. Baltimore, Miami, my guy Bert. We got New York City. We got Oakland, New Zealand in the building. We got Sac City, Cali in the house. California, Vermont. Kyle, what's up? We got Kosi in the house. What's going on, Kosi? We got Dallas, Michigan, Toronto in the building with us as well, family. Super excited once again to be here. Now, let me go ahead and turn this mucus off. And now let's go ahead and really lock in, family, so that we are prepared for, the rest of the week, right? Because what this call is going to be about is just going to be a market recap, right? Overlooking the markets, guys, to see exactly what the markets have done. We did have a really interesting New York session this morning, guys, inside of the Profit Society platform. Which is something that we're going to be doing this entire week, right? Trading live, guys, during New York session, right? If there's a setup there, we're going to take it in real time. We're going to break down exactly why we're taking it, right? And we're really just trying to give you guys a real in-depth outlook, guys, or in-look into, how you're really supposed to be doing, trading in these markets. So that was pretty dope this morning. Shout out to everybody that was a part of that call this morning. I know we did had a couple little hiccups just because we had so many people trying to jump on at the same exact time, which definitely caused a bunch of server issues on, the back end. But we did actually just update the servers, guys, as well. And we also did fix a little things that we got you guys' concerns about. We did actually fix a few little things as well. So hopefully the experience tomorrow morning is a lot smoother than what we just had today, right? But for the most part, it was still a really good session. But let's actually go ahead and talk about, guys, exactly what went on over the past day or so, right? And I'm just going to talk about the opportunities that I was mainly looking at. And then we'll go ahead and pass it off because we do got the young man, the myth, the lion as well, Mr. Kyle Prasad in the building with us, who's also going to, talk about his favorite setups. All right, so let's go ahead and just get into it really quickly, guys. Now, we didn't have nothing news-wise for the most part today besides this German ZEW economic sentiment. So overall, it's been a pretty clear day. But I was looking at two setups, right? I was looking at this gold idea right here. All right, same exact one that we had. I was looking for the short, but we did not actually end up reaching that high. All right, my short was looking up for the year. I really wanted to see a capture of liquidity before we actually ended up seeing this thing turn around, and we just didn't get it. All right, we just did not get that push higher to get into that point of interest that I was looking for. And ultimately, this thing did end up actually turning around and going back bearish. Right now, it is what it is. It's a missed trade. It happens, guys, especially when you're expecting the market or you want to see the market do something. The market isn't always going to do exactly what we want. That's just the reality, right? So there's going to be times where we do miss out on some decent looking opportunities. But what can we expect next now? All right, what can we expect next now, though, for gold? Well, I'm still bearish, right? I do think that we still have, again, an opportunity, guys, to or a chance just to continue going lower and lower, right? I'm very bearish on gold, and I think that we still do continue to see more downside, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if we do continue to just sell off throughout the rest of the week. You know, even looking at these areas that we're at now, guys, it's very interesting price action that we're starting to see right now, right? With all of this level of structure right here, we seen the market spike above that area of structure, and then we seen the market also shift and pretty much break like internal structure right there, right? So there could be a good chance for the market, you know, to start really seeing some lower pricing here on gold coming up very soon, right? So I'm gonna keep my eyes on that one, especially going throughout the rest of the night. Then going into London session again, I'm probably not gonna be awake during London session. It's not often that I'm awake during London session, but I will monitor it, right? I will keep my eyes on it to see how it plays out. You know, you never know if this thing ends up staying like this 15-minute engulfing. Do not be surprised if this thing ends up rolling over, guys. But we'll keep our eye on it, see what the market does end up giving us, and if there's an opportunity, we'll take it. All right, but that's just one of the opportunities, guys, that I was interested from this morning. Again, it was just a missed trade. We didn't actually get that entry, so it is what it is. Right now, the other opportunity, guys, that we were looking at was GJ. Right now, GJ was very interesting, right? Because I was actually looking for the buy opportunity itself. That was my main outlook from today. Was really just looking to see if we can catch the buys. Now, full transparency, I ended up taking a buy, guys, around, I'll say around these levels around here, around the 168.64. I did have a stop loss that was pretty tight, so I did end up getting stopped out of my first position here on GJ, just because, again, the market did end up just doing all of this and retesting back down the structure. But even though I did get stopped out, I was still monitoring it, so I was able to still catch a re-entry. All right, I was able to jump still back into the position, right? So I ended up getting an entry, even better entry than what I originally had, guys. But I was able to still get another entry right here, right now. Again, this is something that we talked about on the New York session stream this morning, right? As you know, for what I was looking for, right? I was looking for the buy setup, right? I expected the market to actually go higher. The area that we were talking about really didn't work out, but I did mention that if that level didn't hold, that we were probably going to come down to these levels, and then we could look for some buys off of there, right? So I ended up taking the buys, guys, just because of how price was playing off of these levels, and yeah, I mean, it's doing all right for right now. I think I'm up around what, 60 pips? Yeah, around 60 pips or so. But overall, again, it's the same exact outlook that we spoke about this morning, right? You know, even though I got stopped out my first time, that didn't invalidate the entire move, right? What would have invalidated the entire move is if we actually seen price really aggressively come below structure, something like that, right? Um, and again, that's just my fault, right? And my apologies if you guys can hear my daughter in the background, right? But that's also a learning lesson for me, right? In terms of where my stop loss could have been or should have been, right? In terms of this opportunity, right? Because if I would have had my stop loss realistically either below the ultimate low, the swing low, then guess what? We would have never really even got stopped out of that first initial trade. But it was me. It was cool. You know, I really liked the risk to reward for that setup. The risk to reward was absolutely insane. You know, so we took it. You know, we deal with the consequences, and then we found another opportunity, realizing that the trade was still valid, and that's how we were pretty much able to make that loss back pretty quickly, guys, with those buys so that followed. So those are the recaps for today, the ones that I was personally looking for. Now, what do I think can happen for GJ moving forward? Well, I'm still bullish GJ, right? I still think that we're going to see, guys, higher pricing for GJ. I mean, in my opinion, just continuing moving forward, right, throughout the rest of the year. So I'm still very much bullish GJ. Now, where could we look for potential entries from? I know that's going to be the question you guys are probably wondering. Well, Abel, all right, cool. So where could we look for entry from? Well, if I'm being honest, I'm only going to be interested if we're down here, right? If we can see price come back down to the 161.5, around that level, guys, is where I will be interested in looking for some higher pricing, right? Because, like, looking at this pricing, right, price action that we're seeing right here, like all these small 1 hour candles, I mean, the market can literally do two things, right? It can either just continue flying from that level, or we could see this pullback. I don't care for obviously trying to catch the fly, but I do care about if we can catch this pullback. So if we can catch the pullback, then I would definitely be ready to go ahead and look for some buys, guys, right? So, you know, a spike below this low down here, all right, a spike below this 168.4 level, could definitely give us some nice re-entries, to go ahead and continue going bullish, right? In my opinion, of course, that's what I would like to see for GJ right now. If we don't make it all the way down to that 168.4 level, then maybe here on the 15-minute time frame, guys, a retest back down to 168.7 can also net you an entry, right? I prefer this lower entry right here. Give us a much better risk to reward, especially if we're going to be, targeting back up to these highs. But, if the market doesn't go down there, it doesn't go down there, right? So even if we do come to this 168.700, that can also be an opportunity to go ahead and ride this thing up, guys. But overall, I'm still bullish. I want to look for some continuations to the upside. So that's what I'm going to be preparing for going into tonight and then into tomorrow for sure. All right, now let's see what else we got in the building. Let's see what else we got here in the chat, guys. Let's see. All right, I see we got Michigan in the building, Bahamas, Nigeria, Riverside, Brooklyn. What's up? GJ's busting. Okay. Poor liquidity continues to haunt this market and will magnify all moves on the indices. I definitely agree with you on that for sure. All right, let's see what else we got here. What's April? How you doing? Can you break down AUD USD for me? Yeah, for sure. I got you. All right, could you go over the calendar? Yeah, I got you, Jude. I got you. I'll go over that as well, right? So let's actually go take a look at AUD USD and I'll give you a breakdown, right, of what I think the market is actually going to do, right? So let's go ahead and start off here, guys, on the bigger picture as usual, right? Always very important to take a look at the market from a higher time frame perspective, just to see what the market has ultimately really been doing, right? So over the past few days, it just looks like we're starting to see some strength come in for the Australian dollar. Overall, though, keep in mind we are still very much bearish here, right? Like that is complete obvious, right? We're very much bearish long term, but just by the look of price action, it looks like there is a chance for us to actually go ahead and pull back some higher, right? Pull back a little bit more. So that's something that we could probably go ahead and look to do. Again, it's only a possibility. Looking to buy is a little risky because it is going against the overall trend per se. But I would be interested, guys, to really see, price make its way all the way up to these levels. All right, I think that there's actually a very interesting and a decent chance for price to make up there. All right, so that's a very good possibility. Obviously, I don't see anything right now to take advantage of it, but if we do see maybe a spike below either this low right here or even a spike below this low, right? A spike below these lows, a clear below these lows can really go ahead and trigger us, guys, some higher pricing here for AUD USD, right? So I would be looking to buy somewhere at these levels, right? I would look for some buys around that 0.626 or around, that 0.624. All right, so that's, I think it looks very good. I think there could be a very interesting opportunity here for AUD USD. Something like this. Go ahead and target back to the upside, right? That's around almost a 6-to-1 risk to reward. So yeah, it's not bad, and you can even probably tighten it up even more to get a a better risk to reward out of that. But that's what I'll be looking for AUD USD, right? I just need to see price go ahead and clear these lows first, and then go ahead and start looking for some higher pricing for sure. Right, so that actually looks very good, though. I'm actually going to keep my eyes on that one going into tonight, because that's something that we could probably take advantage of tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. All right, let's see. Can you analyze AUD NZD for sure, right? Let me go ahead and just take a quick look at the calendar, just to update anybody that wasn't on Sunday's call. So, guys, this is the calendar for the week. The only things that are going to be the big boys is definitely going to be the CPI readings that are getting released for various central banks. I think we have 3 central banks that are doing CPI. Yeah, we do. So we got on Wednesday is really going to be a volatile day, right? Tomorrow, because we do have CPIs for the pound at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we have CPI readings for the euro at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Now, both of these releases, guys, they are actually expecting inflation to increase, right? They're expecting, CPI number to actually come out at 10%, which means the change in the price of goods and services over there across the seas has increased by 10%, guys. All right, now that is not a good thing, which is why a lot of these central banks, guys, main focus has been to try to get this number back down, right? Because you got to think about it. The main number that these central banks, guys, really want inflation to be at, or CPI to be at, is around that 2%, right? Because they want to see our economy grow, right? They want to see our economy expand, right? They want to see a lot of things increase, right? But the price of goods and services, although they want to see that increase as well, it can't be too drastic, right? Because people are living paycheck to paycheck already as it is, right? When inflation was only increasing by 2% year over year, right? So now people are experiencing higher pricing across the board, and they're experiencing higher prices for things that they can't afford already, right? They're already living a paycheck to paycheck, right? So all this extra cash now that they have to come out of pocket for is definitely not helping things out. And that is a big reason, guys, why these central banks are now, has completely shifted their focus over the past year and a half to simply fighting inflation because they know how bad it truly can be for most people, right? So tomorrow, we're going to see exactly how, inflation is over there across the seas, over there for the Bank of England, the European Central Bank. And based on how this release comes out, guys, it will absolutely shake these markets, right? But they're expecting it, both of them, to actually come out higher than what was the previous reading, right? So that's definitely something to keep in mind going into tomorrow. We do have core CPI on a month-to-month perspective for the CAD. But overall, guys, that's probably going to be like the main ones that I'm going to be focused on for this week. It's probably going to be that CPI on Wednesday. I might keep my eye on the initial jobless claims on Thursday, just to see how the jobs report is looking, at least on a week basis, and just deal with it from there. All right, so that's pretty much the only ones I'm focused on in, a week-to-week perspective, at least for this week. Okay. Let's see. Can you analyze odd NZD? Of course. Right now, again, I do have some savages on the call with me today. Right. We do have Mr. Kyle, the young lion, Mr. Kyle Prasad, in the building with us today, and we also do have Mr. Wall Street Ray with us tonight as well, who are also going to come on here, guys, and provide you guys with some insights as to what happened today, right? And also some thoughts on what could happen moving forward, right? So just keep that in mind. We do got some bangers coming up. Now let's see, odd NZD, right? So let's see what we got here. Overall, guys, odd NZD is very, very interesting. For the most part, we've been seeing a very bullish here, guys, here for odd NZD, right? A very, very bullish here until recently, right? Until September, we have now started to see a very aggressive selling off. Now, I'm interested to see exactly what really could happen. This selling off could be happening simply because of, the market coming up and grabbing liquidity up here, right? And we're seeing that initial strong reaction because of that. And if that's the case, it looks like this thing could very well continue. Bearish, right? I think we're gonna continue seeing this thing push all the way down, probably down to around these 1.09, 1.10 level, right? So I will still be looking to sell here, guys, on AUD NZD. Me personally, that's what I would be looking for, is some more continuations. Right now, where could we look for continuations from? Well, if we're able to see price bounce back some, right, I would need to see price push back up, and then from there go ahead and give us some opportunity to go ahead and go low, right, go back bearish. Right now we're just creating like this little triangle pattern, so if we could go ahead and break out to the upside, I think there could be a good chance for us to go ahead and look for some sales from that, right? So that's just my outlook on AUD UNZD. I want to continue selling it up to now all the way into that 1.09 level. All right, 1.09 level. Let's see. Do you think earnings reports this week has caused volatility? Tesla reports tomorrow, I think. It could bring some volatility for sure, right? Especially, one of the big boys like a Tesla or something like that. It could bring some volatility. I don't think it's going to really affect the currency markets too drastically, though. It's definitely going to obviously be shown in the indices, though, right? Like, Tesla's earning reports coming out super strong. That can cause the NAS to really go ahead and potentially bounce up off of that, right? So it could definitely, obviously affect it. But like the actual currencies that we're trading, you never know, right? You never know. All right, but that was a good question, though. All right, so let's see. Can you look at GBP CPI rates, right? So for sure, let's actually go ahead and bring up the central banks over here, right? So these are your world central banks, guys, right? The Bank of England is right here. They are at 2.25%, right? 2.25%. Again, they are going to be I think eventually, guys, raising this for sure. I believe every central bank, for the most part, is just going to continue in their hawkish cycles that they've been in overall. So, I mean, yeah, right. Just continue to, in my opinion, continue to really look into buying these fiat currencies against everything else. Right. So again, that's what we're looking at, guys, for central bank rates overall. All right. So now let's go ahead and see what the guys got in tune for today. Right, Kyle, Ray, what's going on, fellas? How you guys feeling, man? Are you guys there with me today? Are you guys there with me? How you guys feeling today? Let's see. Hold on. Let me make sure you are in the right headset.
Y'all, how you doing?
All right, there we go. Now they can hear you. What's going on, fellas? How you guys feeling?
Better than amazing, man. Can't complain at all.
Okay,
What's
okay.
good? What's good? I'm feeling lit today. It's Tuesday, second day of the trading week. We got 3 more days left to capitalize. I'm just feeling excited. So, how are you guys feeling?
I'm feeling blessed, man. I'm feeling blessed. I
I'm
took a
blessed.
I took a little L on GJ, but we got it right back. That's how we do
I'm good because I'm about to go to Hawaii. So
it. Yeah, that's a good
win or
thing.
lose, I'm happy.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. So you guys got anything you guys want to go over?
Uh,
Um,
oh, go ahead,
Honestly, I
Kyle.
don't really have too much, but I will just want to go ahead and share my analysis. It does coincide with the analysis I shared in the New York session. I'm just gonna go in on the dollar just for a little bit, talk about USD CAD since we have USD CAD, CAD news tomorrow, and I will go over Euro USD. I will leave the GBP USD to my man Ray. I already know he got some sauce on the GBP USD. So, with that being said, I will just go ahead and hijack the screen share for a second if you don't mind. One of the first things I will go over is USD CAD. We had called out a nice little intraday sell right up here on the New York session this morning with the Profit Society. Shout out, to all of the traders on the Profit Society, such as Abel, such as Ray, such as Skaggs, that we just hop on these sessions 6 times a week. Right? Can everybody drop a 777 in the chat for the traders hopping on 6 times a week, right? To go live for you guys, to provide massive value to you guys for free. I mean, I'm gonna just be honest, we don't have to do these sessions. We really get to do these sessions, right? The traders that are on this platform, we could completely just sit at home, trade, and make our yearly, monthly incomes within the click of a button, right? But we choose to hop on here because we truly have a passion for trading. We truly have a passion for teaching people, and we just want to see you guys win, right? Because we remember being in your shoes. So, at the end of the day, we're truly just giving gratitude just to you guys for just hopping on here and just receiving our value because we truly love to do this. So, honestly, guys, this is running about, I would say, 60 some pips. I remember I mentioned with you guys that I wouldn't be ready to sell USD CAD when it was at about like this level. I actually was looking for the buy off of this candle. I told you guys it was counter trend, so I wouldn't be taking it. But as you guys can see, if you are a counter trend intraday trader or a scalper, you could have caught a nice little scalp buy up to this region that I had marked up here. Reasoning why is because I was waiting for USD CAD to pull into some sort of a discount, right? Whenever you're selling or buying, you always want to buy at a discount, right? You always want to sell at a premium, right? Whenever you're buying something at a discount at the store, it's majority of the times 50% off or more. That's going to be the best time to buy. Same thing at a premium, right? When you're at a premium, you want to sell at 50% higher prices than normal, right? So me selling at something like this or something like this wasn't really favorable for me. I was waiting for something to dip above the 50% region, and we kind of got that this morning. Now, be advised that we do have to wait to see what London does, especially since we have CAD news tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Right? We also have some GBP news at 2 a.m. But I'll leave that to some of the next speakers. But the CAD news is tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. So that means we could definitely see a major move on USD CAD to take us to the downside as of tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. So it's just really what candle would we be playing just, as a re-entry, right? Because let's say you didn't catch this entry right here. When's the next point that you can enter the market? And, at the end of the day, guys, we can really look at something like this. I'll go ahead and remove this fib tool. We can really look at something like this. Maybe we can retrace up to this candle for London, and maybe we can catch this move for London. But let's say we miss the London move. At the end of the day, guys, I don't even trade London, so I would probably miss out on a move like something like that. So we would wait for this thing to break structure. So as you guys can see, we were creating some sort of intraday higher high, higher low. But in the larger scheme of things, this is really a lower high point, because this right here was our lower low point, in comparison to the big picture, right? So I still am expecting USD CAD to make that move to break this low right here. These lows will be violated at some point. So it's either up to us if we're going to catch the move for London up top here, or we can wait for this lower time frame structure. Once that breaks, tomorrow morning we might wake up to something like this, and the market is coming back to retest and mitigate out of this IC candle that it probably would have created overnight for London. Let's say we get some sort of retest like this tomorrow, 8:30. I definitely would be very, very confident in taking a sell on USD CAD for us to break these lows and possibly come down to something like this, right? So, that's really my outlook on USD CAD. Especially after today, it is kind of confirmed that we do want to see more dollar bearishness. So if I were to go on to something like the DXY, at the end of the day, when it comes down to it on a daily time frame, we are seeing some increased bearishness. We had a bearish engulfing candle actually yesterday, and today we closed bearish. So unless we see something drastically change in the market, then I'm still going to remain with my bearish bias in the DXY, unless, this has to hold and then break this. Then I would be back looking for this bullish, because, we did break some 1 hour higher highs and higher lows, and we created a new structure on the 1 hour. Now, that doesn't mean that we're entirely bearish, right? It just means that we're going for a 4-hour retracement. So at some point, we are expecting the market to retrace at least to this 110 level, or if we break that, then we could even go down to something like this 108 level, right? So 110 and 108 are major levels that I would be looking to see if buying can start occurring back into the market. But for now, since we are retracing on the 4-hour, on the 1 hour time frame, I would be preferring retracements on the dollar. I would be preferring to see, let's say we can dip above this 50% region. Any type of sells above this 50% region would be valid for me, because that indicates that we're selling at a premium. So the next imbalance, inefficiency, or supply and demand zone that I see above the 50% is this right here, right? And as you guys can see, that meets structure perfectly, that meets order flow perfectly, that fills imbalances perfectly, and it's a retest of our distribution schematic that we are forming right here on the dollar. So this right here would be a test of the midpoint of the range of this distribution right here. Also, there's just like so much confirmations on this thing that, obviously it can still lose, but this is a break or bounce level for us in the DXY. It's either going to bounce off of this level and continue giving us that retracement that we want, or it's going to break and we can see something like this and take it as a flip level, right? This level is still a very major, powerful level for the DXY. At some point, it's either going to come up to this thing and reject, and I'll be taking sells down, or if we get stopped out, placing a risk of maybe our stop loss up here. Even if we get stopped out, we can use the same level as a flip zone to start taking buys to continue this uptrend on the DXY. But again, my favorable setup would be kind of just looking for this rejection right here. That's really my favorite setup. If we go on another price feed of the dollar, this region still does look favorable. But, at the end of the day, the market could just simply mitigate off of something like this and just keep going down as well. And maybe New York session would give us something like this, right? So there's a lot of different scenarios that could happen. But overall, I'm looking for the continued bearish of the dollar. That does coincide with our USD CAD bias that we want USD CAD to continue dropping. And, hopefully we can see some CAD shrink tomorrow to actually kind of expedite that, right? Because as you guys might have heard or might not have heard, I like to use the term that news is the excuse to move price, right? Majority of the times, news will move price in a direction that it was really intended to go all week, but it'll just move it at a faster rate, right? It'll just expedite that target. It'll expedite that inefficiency. It'll expedite that institutional candle, right? We don't really have much news on the dollar this week, but that CAD news could be something that really propels USD CAD, since it has been kind of lagging behind, like something like EU, right? EU, for example, it broke structure, retested, and created a new high. With USD CAD, we broke structure, retested, created a new low. But as you guys can see, we're in like a retracement phase where we're in a new higher, we're in a new lower high point in the market. And this is a great region that I like to see us to continue. With Euro USD, we haven't really quite created that higher low point, right? We've broke structure, we've retested, we've created a new high, but we haven't tested back down into some lower levels like these that we can start seeing continued effort from the trend that is pretty much shifted. So with GU, with USD CAD, we're in that kind of sort of premium region already. So we want to start seeing this thing start breaking new lows. With Euro USD, we might need to see a little bit more of a pullback before I start seeing new highs start being printed in the market. So, for my EU, I really am looking at a level like something like this. This level right here is very attractive to me because it actually fills all inefficiencies that price has left back. And that's something that I like to see. I like to see efficient trading in the market. I like to see when price creates an order block, we come back to mitigate that order block. We follow order flow and then we leave an imbalance. And once we leave that imbalance, I like to wait to see if the market can come back and fill that imbalance perfectly, follow order flow again, and continue going to the upside. Now, that isn't the case a lot of times in the market, but when we do get those trades, they're amazing risk to reward setups, right? Something like this would be somewhat of a risk to reward. Like, let's say we play the candle, let's say we play right below this candle that we're playing and we put our risk something of like a 25 pip stop loss. You see, your target on this thing, guys, is a 1 to 5 just by breaking the highs. Now, if we aim for these next highs up here, which is something that I do see that can fill, that's a 1 to 10. And, this is just by playing the wick, the imbalance fill. If we play the actual candle, that would be a 1 to 12. And again, you guys can even wait until New York session hits, go down to somewhat of a 5-minute time frame, maybe wait for something like this on the lower time frame. We get the same structure that we see on the higher time frames print on the lower time frames, then we could take a risk to reward of maybe like a 1 to 20 on something like this, right? And, if you're more experienced, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you're not, I would stay away from doing positions like this because, they do get stopped out very frequently. You ever notice when you're trading on the 4-hour time frame, you don't seem to get stopped out as much. If you're trading on the 1 minute time frame, opposed to trading on the 1 hour and the 4-hour time frame, you're going to realize that these trades are moving a lot more faster than you can even think most of the times. These trades are moving a lot more faster than your mind can even make a decision sometimes. Sometimes your decision making, your decision making process is good, but sometimes it's not as fast as the market, especially if you're trading on a 1 minute or a 5 minute time frame. So, more experienced traders, especially if you've been trading for 2, 3, even 4 years, at the maximum, at the end of the day, your decision making process gets a lot faster the more times you're doing something. Do you agree that if you played basketball for 4 or 5 years at a time, your decision making process for catching and shooting the ball would be way more higher than somebody that's only been playing basketball for a year, right? So, the same goes for the markets, guys. If you're somebody that's been trading for maybe 6 months to a year, these 5 minute, 1 minute entries might not make sense to you. And, you might get stopped out most of the times trying to do something like that. So know your style, know what type of trader you are. If you're somebody that's willing to wait for your profits, which I say that should be everybody, because if you're willing to wait 2, 3 weeks for a paycheck, why can't you wait 2, 3 weeks for that perfect setup that can make you more than your paycheck, right? A lot of people aren't willing to wait for that type of setup, and they're just hopping in the market, hoping for that setup, hoping that today is the day that pumps the market crazy. And, a lot of the times you do that over and over and over again. And then finally you get your perfect setup, but you lost so much money just by trying to take mediocre setups that you find yourself over trading. And now that perfect setup appears and you don't even have enough capital to take it. Right. So, that's why capital preservation is key, and being patient is key. Knowing your style is key, because, if you're somebody that for a fact you've been losing on these lower time frames, maybe sometimes you might have to increase the risk to somewhat of a 20 to 25 pip stop loss to give you that more breathing room. So as opposed to taking a million trades, trying to get that amazing 1 to 20 risk to reward ratio that you lose 10% in the process, why not take 3 or 4 1 to 5 trades and you make even more profit, but they might take a little bit longer to print. This 1 to 5 right here, I would say could take you about 1 to 2 days. But are you willing to wait 1 to 2 days for something that'll pay you way more than if you were working at a job? A lot of people, they don't want to wait those 1 to 2 days. They want to have that profit in their MT4 within the next 30 minutes, within the next hour. And that's why people over leverage. So, just be patient on this setup right here in EU. Also, guys, there can be something like this that happens in the market as well, right? Let's say the market just keeps going up. Then we would create a new higher high. This would be our new higher low. And let's say the market just keeps going up from there. I would pretty much wait for a retracement back down to this candle. So, there's 2 candle entry possibilities. If we stay consolidating up here, which, I'm pretty sure we will, then I would be looking at this candle. But if we just break it to a new high and, it's just no tomorrow, then wait for the retracement back down to this, right? But, that pretty much correlates with my DXY, analysis, that we're looking for selling from this level. So Euro USD is the inverse, the exact opposite of the DXY. If the DXY is selling, Euro USD is buying. If the DXY is buying, Euro USD is selling, right? So that's why we're looking at this buy setup right here on EU, right? So, honestly, that's really all I had for you guys today. Euro USD, USD CAD, and the DXY, right? Now we'll have to clear out all these drawings after. But, I hope you guys were able to really see that on your chart. Start marking your guys' charts with, supply and demand zones, inefficiencies. Like, a lot of your problems can be fixed by just doing it, right? By just doing what exactly you're learning, right? Don't just do exactly, what we're doing, but, exactly the process, like what we're doing. We're going on to the fundamentals. We're going on to the charts. We're researching. We're back testing. We're doing majority of the things that we do on stream when we're not on stream, right? When we're not on the Zoom call, when we're not on the YouTube stream, we're also marking up charts. We're also back testing. We're also on YouTube looking up, personal development audios, right? Looking up podcasts, looking up different ways that we can develop ourselves, right? So duplicate these charts, duplicate what it is that we do on the stream. And, at the end of the day, guys, if I could do it, you guys could do it. If Abel could do it, you guys could do it as well, right? All it takes is consistent effort and consistent discipline, right? That right there is going to get you to the success that you want. So, honestly, guys, again, drop a 777 in the chat if you guys receive some value. The next person I'm about to bring up is my brother from another mother. You guys already know Mr. Wall Street Ray. If you guys know him, if you guys don't know him, this is one of the guys that, I personally learned a lot from. I'm very excited to be continually doing business with him. And, with that being said, a lot of you guys already know him for his low risk, high reward trade setups. He'll sometimes give you a trade with a 5-pip stop loss, 10-pip stop loss, sometimes even a 3-pip stop loss to take you guys upwards of 50 to 100 pips. He's done this on the streams loads of times, especially on New York, especially on the Sunday weekly outlook calls. If you guys have been on these calls consistently, you guys already know that we drop trades that get us straight to the bag. We drop, even our personal setups on here. So, this guy really catches bags on his account. He's going to show you guys how to do the same on yours. So with that being said, my brother Ray, I want you to take it over from here, bro. I want you to shock them. I want you to give them some secret sauce. I want you to really blow their minds tonight. And, just unmute yourself, show us what you got tonight. And, I left GU to you, bro. So, go ahead and take it away.
Got you. What's going on, everybody? How y'all doing, man? Let's get some 333s in the chat for all the previous speakers. Let's see who we got. I'm looking at the chat box. Let's get some 333s. I want to see that energy. Family. There we go. First and foremost, want to say good evening to everybody. I definitely appreciate y'all just for tapping in with us yet again. It's always good just to have the family on here tapped in with all of us. So, I'm not going to be long today. I do just want to come in, provide value as I see fit and give you guys some perspectives of the market that I personally see. And again, like you said, I'm a very low risk, high reward trader. And, every trade doesn't win, but you don't have to when you have very low risk, high reward trades. And that's the beauty of trading Forex. And, I do just want to kind of, give you guys a little mindset to go off of just before I go into the actual, technicals of the chart. But, the best thing you could do when it comes to trading is, get into that mindset of consistency, not just wins and consistently winning, but consistently showing up, consistently trading your edge, right? Now, what is an edge? An edge is just simply when you see what you need to see that makes you take that trade, right? When you see that break a structure lower and then you see that retrace into your point of interest, or you see that sweep of liquidity that makes that strong low, and then you see the retracement into, where it is that you want to take a trade. And all you have to do is push that button, right? So many times we talk ourselves out of the trade, and you want to be more optimistic when you're trading than you are skeptical, because at the end of the day, the trades that you don't take 9 times out of 10, it's always the ones that go the way you want them to go. And then the trade that you was 1000% confident on is the one that hits your stop loss. And I feel like, that's just the way of the markets and the universe testing you to just really, truly trust yourself, right? Just take the opportunity, win or lose, and you're going to notice over time that you have a consistent equity curve, all right? That's all we're looking for. We want to have a consistent equity curve, meaning that our balance is consistently growing over time. And you should also want to look at this long-term, family. Don't be in this thing, just trying to trade this week to, get rich and pay your bills. Like, obviously it can happen, but you really see yourself here, 6 months, 12 months, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years from now. And if you can have that type of approach by realizing that the time is going to pass you by anyway, it can really help you do the things that you need to do. And I'm a firm believer that you're going to make a lot more in the next 3 to 6 months of doing this the right way than trying to find a shortcut, right? The only shortcut is doing this the right way. There is no shortcuts. The markets are very strict. The markets can be very unforgiving to people that try to find shortcuts and break the rules. So do yourself a favor, do your future families a favor. do your future self a favor and do something today that your future self is going to thank you for. And that is just staying the course and holding yourself accountable. All right. So that's one of the biggest things that I can give you in terms of trading. It's crazy. I just paid for a whole trip to Hawaii off one trade. And, this isn't the first time I've done this, I remember when I went to London, like I actually got a video. I couldn't post it before for, the marketing reasons of, the previous company we were in. But, I landed and, I was up several thousands of dollars. And it's just, you get to a point to where all you can have is gratitude, guys. All you can have is gratefulness and humbleness for the ability to be able to make the world your playground, the ability to be able to wake up when you want. It's not even about the money. It's about the freedom and the options you have when you have the ability to make money, because a lot of us trade our lives for that coin, for that piece of paper, for that paycheck. So when you're able to harness and literally extract the money out of the Wi-Fi signal, you got to understand how powerful that is and what type of sacrifices you need to make in order to be one of the few people on earth that can do that. We're a part of the 1%, guys. We're a part of the 2-3%, whatever percent it is. We at the tip top of it, because this is something that not a lot of people have the ability to do. We got 100+ people on this call late at night, and I want you to realize that that's something that makes you very special. All right. So just with that, that's done with my little rant. I do just want to hop into the markets real quick. I see some opportunity on AUD USD. All right. And the reason why I'm taking a look at this is primarily because this market has been super bearish. I'm not really trying to go against this, at least not yet. I would go against it once we have a very strong low, once we have, swept some more liquidity on the downside. But just for the time being, the same way we kind of had, this shallow retracement here and then the continuation, I'm looking for essentially, another shallow retracement and another continuation bearish. All right. So just with that, what it is that I see on the smaller time frames, if y'all know me, y'all know I love smaller time frames. This is something that I already see is as a pretty skeptical low, in my opinion, right? I look at this low, I don't really get too excited about that. And on top of that, I see this low as well. So I see 2 weak lows, and then I also see how the market is building this liquidity right here, right? So if you really understand how liquidity is built in a number of ways. It's built in a way the market creates lows. It's built in, the way the market creates, equal highs. You see these gradual highs being put in, these gradual higher lows being put in, where it's not a lot of volume behind them. It's just kind of creeping up. You got to realize what's going on here, right? There's money being created here because a lot of people are buying. A lot of retail traders, they have their trend lines right here and they're buying, right? Every time somebody buys, this pocket of money gets bigger and bigger and bigger, because you got to realize, let's really think about what liquidity really is, right? Liquidity is just pretty much the driving force of the market, right? It's the fuel that makes the market move. So if we understand that, and we understand liquidity comes from participants, right? Now you see why it's in the market maker's best interest to induce you to buy and sell prematurely. Because if you make a deposit into your account, your money actually is not truly in the Forex market, or it's not actually liquidity for the market until you place a trade, and then you put a stop loss to it, right? So essentially that $7.7 trillion a day that we always talk about, that's in the market, that's active money that's floating around in the market, right? So they need to get you to take a trade in order for the market to make its move. So with that said, you got to think in terms of all the people on earth. Let's say 100,000 people were buying this trend line, and some of them got standard, some of them got micros, minis, whatever. Let's just say it's millions of dollars underneath this low, and everybody can't win, right? Everybody can't win. Somebody got to lose, and most people gonna lose. So all these people that's buying and holding, you got to assume that the market is aware of that, right? So, you know, when it comes to trading, you don't just want to look at what you see. You want to see what does the average person see and why is the average person going to lose, right? So I don't just look at my own analysis. I look at my analysis and then I look at the analysis of the average trader. And I need to exploit the average trader because I don't want to trade like the average person. I want to trade like the institutions and the hedge funds, right? So understanding that, we have these weak lows forming here amongst this trend line. We also have this weak low that's forming here, right? So we have multiple pools of liquidity that we can actually target, right? Another thing that I want you to notice is we have the internal range liquidity that also needs to be filled, right? I'm drawing this with my offhand, so I know it looks kind of crazy, but just think with me right now. When you have all of these weak lows that are here in the market, these areas need to be targeted for the future. Now, the reason why I feel like these are going to be targeted is because we have highs that are sweeping, right? And even right here, we have highs that are sweeping liquidity. But we have lows that are creating liquidity, right? So if I had to compare each side against each other, the highs and lows against each other, it's safe to say that the highs are stronger than the lows at this particular moment, right? Then I look a little deeper into the market. That just helps me find my overall direction. Now that I know my overall direction, I want to get deeper into my strategy, the hezzy crossover, right? So with that said, I see the area of demand here, right? Because I have this low that makes this new high. So when the market comes down into this low, this reaction is very important, all right? That reaction is going to tell me whether or not this is internal range liquidity or not. So the fact that this reaction is not very strong, that means now that I can use this as my internal range liquidity, all right? Just like that for the retracement, okay? So once the market actually retraces into this point of interest, I look for a strong high to be created, which just happened right here, because we made a high, then we swept the liquidity of that high, and then we get another bearish crossover, right? So here we have another bearish crossover because we hezzy off of demand. This is a low that made this new high. Then we make this V-shaped recovery right here. And then we push lower, making a new low. All right. So the fact that I have this V-shaped recovery, I can pretty much classify this as a strong hezzy or strong hesitation move, right? And so now that's the top of my range, right? Weak hezzies is internal range liquidity. Strong hezzies is will become the top of your range in a seller's market or the bottom of your range in a buyer's market, right? So now that that's the top of my range, I know that this is the bottom of my range, all right? That's the bottom of my range. Now, all I'm looking to do is sell above internal range liquidity, but below the top of my range. That's it, right? So this is how you box the market and you kind of trap it within a small area, right? And when you trap it within a very small area, now the market essentially has to, you know, make its move, right? So since this is my internal range liquidity, now you might be asking yourself, why is this internal range liquidity? Glad you asked. Let's go to the 1 minute chart, right? If I come to the 1 minute, first things first, you see we have a nice area of imbalance. That's one, right? But even on top of that, we have another hezzy right here, right? So this is an area of imbalance, right? This is a sell to buy. That sell to buy made a new high, breaking that high right there. So that means that this is a minor area of demand, right? So when the market reacts off of that demand, the reaction is what I'm paying attention to. The reaction is weak, so it's internal range liquidity, all right? So now that the market has not taken that out, I know that we have to push up one more time, okay? And once we push up and clear internal range liquidity, that's how I know the market will actually trade lower, all right? Give me 1 sec, I'm getting a call. Hold on, guys. Hello? All right. So that's that, right? So you really just want to get a solid understanding of where the liquidity is forming. All right. You could probably even use a smaller stop loss right here. Because if I'm analyzing the lower time frame, I also get a sweep of the highs here. Okay. A sweep of the highs right here. All right. And that is also a hezzy. If I was able to go down to like the 15-second, you would probably see this as well, right? Because if you understand what these wicks are, that wick area is just a sell to buy on the second time frame. All right. So the fact that we have this sell to buy on the second time frame, if I use that as an area of demand, we see the market pushes down into this area of demand, then it sweeps a high before breaking structure and crossing over bears, right? So really, if you really want to get technical, we could say that this is now the top of the range because we see we already mitigated pretty much most of this imbalance that was formed right here, right? So the thing is, you want to push into zones that have not been mitigated yet. That's the whole key when it comes to trading, right? So even within these wicks, this is a mitigation because you see you have this buy before this sell, and then the wick comes back up to fill in that area of imbalance, all right? So now that we understand that, right? Now that we understand that, I can use this as the top of my range. All right. So now again, I want to get in above internal range liquidity, but below the top of my range. Simple. All right. So now give myself a little breathing room, 6 pip stop loss. All right. 6 pip stop loss on this particular trade. And we targeting the low. So that's a 1 to 10. All right. You got a funded account. That's a 10 band trade. Right. Easy. All right. So that's pretty much what it is that I see going on AU. Definitely looking for this. I mean, it's perfect timing too. It's only 9 o'clock. So I do anticipate this will consolidate a little bit longer. And once we get to this point of interest up here at like the 6327 area, I'll be looking to sell off aggressively because I'll be looking to sell off aggressively from that point of interest. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it back real quick. I got to do something real quick, guys. Go ahead, take it away real quick, Abel or Kyle, because I definitely got to go help my wife with something real quick. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Appreciate y'all time. That's that.
Yes. Family. Go ahead and drop some sevens in the chat for that boy Ray. Like I said, he's definitely one of the most technical traders that I know. But just the way he really breaks down the markets, guys, and really analyzes it from that smart money perspective is just next level, right? So definitely go ahead and
Yo,
drop
I'm
some
back.
sevens
Yo.
in the chat.
If y'all want me to keep going, I can continue real quick. I ain't gonna. I figured I finished what I had to do.
I mean, go ahead, bro. We ain't stopping you.
All right, word. But let me check the chat box real quick. Um, let me see if y'all had any questions. Just make sure. Change your name to Wall Street Rate of Sugar Ray. Why would I do that? But anyway, let me go ahead and pull this back up because I did have a couple more pairs I want to take a look at. I ain't even gonna lie. So yeah, be on the lookout for this one right here. I ain't gonna lie, that one gonna be a banger for sure, for sure. Is that making sense to everybody though? We about to push into this unmitigated zone. That's the whole reason why we should get this reaction. This zone has not been mitigated yet. We got this area imbalance. That buy to sell right there. And that's essentially how I get them sniper setups, right? Now, what y'all got to realize is obviously you're going to lose here and there. Like, no strategy is 100%. And that's why I said, what does a strategy mean? What is a strategy really? A strategy, all a strategy truly is a perspective that you follow. It doesn't mean it's the only perspective in the markets. It's just a perspective that you choose to align with. All right. So if you really understand that, then that's the reason how you can, pass up on trades and not feel bad. Like the market could drop 100 pips, but if it don't drop the way I need it to, and if it don't drop with my edge and my confirmations, I'm cool. You know what I'm saying? But let me see. Checking the chat real quick. I don't trade oil, bro. I'm sorry. I don't trade oil. I'll take a look at GU. I missed these longs just because of the time of the day. I wanted to take this, but the time of the day wasn't aligning for me personally. I had this buy set up when the market was like right here, right? So all of this other stuff didn't form yet, all right? But since this other stuff actually formed now, since this actual price action right here actually formed today, I'm curious to see whether or not this buy is going to actually come all the way up here. Because since we have this, we have a sweep of the high and then a push lower, right? So rather than me buying past this point of interest, I think that the market will probably reject off of it. All right. I don't see a clear point of interest in there. Typically, I need to see something very clear and precise for me to take it, but I'm just going based off of the moves in the market overall. So we do have this sweep of the high and we make this new low. So typically this would be my trading range now. So now that the market is retracing, typically I'll take a trade up here within that trading range, all right? But considering that I don't see that all too much, I don't see nothing that's very clear within here. I just gotta be kind of safe and careful with that, all right? Let me come to the 1 minute, see if anything pop up, anything stand out to me. Let's see. There's a chance we can use this. There's a chance. It would make sense if AU drops. They don't correlate perfectly, but they correlate with the DXY, right? Now, obviously, AUD be having its own stuff going on, and the Great British Pound be having its own stuff going on. But if I had to analyze this to take a trade, I would look at that right there. I'd see my weak hezzy here. And possibly take a sell from there. These lows are kind of suspect to me, although this low did sweep liquidity. You also got to pay attention to what time frame it's swept, because if I'm on the 30-minute, that's not really a sweep, right? And so if you got to go down to the minute chart just to see these sweeps, that means they're not as strong as you think they are. If you got to go back to the 1 minute or the 3 minute just to see a valid sweep of liquidity, that means that it's not as strong as you think it is, right? So for me, although I wanted this to actually go out and break these highs, I believe that there's a good chance it can reject here. All right, we'll get this rejection somewhere up in here and potentially fall back down. All right, and target lower areas, because we already popped up into this point of interest. Only reason I was targeting this high is because I felt like we needed to pop up into that point of interest again. Like sometimes that first tap ain't that trustworthy, so you need to go up there again. But considering that the market is sweeping highs now I'm changing my analysis. All right, so I'm pretty much bearish on GU. Let me check the chart, see if y'all have anything. Nas, okay, let's see. I still got a position open on Nas from last week. I ain't really been looking too much at it personally because I'm just holding. I definitely want to see this imbalance get filled, which is starting to happen right now. But I feel like Nas got more to go. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like Nas got more to go. We just got some suspect highs up here. So I don't like them highs too much. I think the market could, find some more buying power. EU. I kind of got the same analysis as Kyle on EU. I want to see this market retrace back down so we can buy at a discount. All right. Same analysis as Kyle. We need to be able to buy at a discount. Where it's at right now, I can't do nothing with that. You know what I'm saying? Like even if the market do go up 100 pips, I don't feel comfortable buying it because of where it's at right now at this moment. If anything, it'll probably drop because I'm pretty sure we're sweeping on a minute time frame. And that's the thing. When you have those minute sweeps where it's like, you see how slight this sweep is right here? Like, yeah, it swept liquidity, but if I go to the hour chart, you can't even tell. These are the types of sweeps that start counter trend trades. All right. Those minor sweeps, these start counter trend trades. All right. So when you understand that, you could look at this sweep as an opportunity to, take trades to the downside. But you also got to be aware that if it's counter trend, there is some variable of riskiness to it. So just be aware of that. If I had to guess, well, not guess, make a prediction, I say this market is going to drop like that. All right. So at least by 85 pips. So that's what I would do. The market is consolidating. It's also sweeping highs. It's also creating a lower high here. Again, on a 3-minute, we have this sweep of the high, then lots of bearishness, right? So we sweep the high here, then we create all this bearish momentum. Okay. So obviously, again, there is the element of risk to it because it's counter trend, but I'm just giving y'all options here. The buy is more of what I want personally, but I could see the market respecting this point of interest. So whether it drops from here or not, who knows? The market can push up a little higher than drop, but I am leaning towards the market just kind of falling somewhere from here, right? Because we just need to respect the supply chain that's forming. So we sweeping highs, push down, respect supply, push down, respect supply, push down again. All right. So that's something that I'll probably go for right there. We'll see how it's looking for London though. I don't want to take it right this second. So, but yeah, that's about it. That's about it. I have cut back on my pairs tremendously. I used to trade every pair up under the sun, but I'm comfortable just risking what I risk now, right? So, I'm cool with that. That's EU. Got our GU potential set up right there. Then our AU potential set up right here, right? So that's all I got. I did just want to finish my analysis before I hopped off. But yeah, feel free to take these trades if y'all want. And I'll see you guys on the other side. All right. Appreciate y'all. I'll go ahead and pass it back to a boy. Hey.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Yeah, what's going on, family? What's up? What's up? Welcome back. Right, that boy Ray, as usual, came on and was absolutely dropping some fire from the technical perspective. Really, 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 really educational breakdown, guys, of how to really analyze the markets for sure. But besides that, I mean, for me personally, I'm just gonna be chilling, guys, for the rest of tonight. See what these markets actually end up doing. I actually did ended up marking up that idea that Ray had given us here for AUD USD. So I'm definitely gonna be keeping my eyes on this one. And it also literally just lines up with what I was looking for anyways with AUD USD. Right, I initially wanted to look for the long-term buy. I'm gonna retest back down here. But for the most part, we would have to sell to get there first, right? So I personally am very comfortable looking for this sell. I really liked his analysis on it, so we're gonna keep that one on the radar for sure. See how that actually ends up playing out. And then the only other one, guys, I'm interested in is probably gonna be this gold. All right, very interested to see what this gold ends up doing. I think there's a good chance for gold to really just continue going bearish from these levels. All right, so that's gonna be my play going into tonight as well as lower pricing on gold. But I think AUD USD off of this area up here can also give us a nice sell as well, family. But other than that, family, again, another phenomenal stream. We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you guys for rocking with us. Please go ahead and smash the like button on your way out. And if you guys are not subscribed just yet, please definitely go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And also, if you guys are not inside of the actual social community that we have here, guys, that we created for every single one of y'all that's listening right now, I highly recommend you guys to go ahead and go to profitsociety.co and actually go ahead and join this community. We actually put a lot of time and effort, guys, into creating a community, a safe haven, a safe place where traders can go and actually have conversations with other traders, right? And just really build those connections and, ultimately just get as much information as you can from the conversations, guys, that are going to be had, inside of this platform right here. So family, please be in there, right? We are absolutely changing the game with this. As you can see, there's been a lot of people active in this community already, dropping a lot of value and so on and so forth, right? And we just look forward to seeing this thing continue to grow. Our goal is to get 10,000 people in this platform, utilizing the Profit Society social media platform as a way to get better, right? As a way to build connections, as a way to really, to take their trading up to another level, right? And we're going to do everything that we can, to give everybody the best experience as well, right? So without further ado, family, we do appreciate y'all, right? We love you guys so much. Thank you guys for rocking with us. And we will be back live tomorrow inside of the Profit Society community, trading New York session live, right? So if you want to be trading live with us tomorrow, make sure to be a part of the platform, right? Because we will be going live inside of the platform tomorrow. And the only way that you can actually be on that call is if you're actually a part of the family, right? It is free. It is free, guys, right? It's a free platform for every single one of y'all. So, take advantage of it, all right? But besides that, I love you guys. I appreciate y'all. Thank you guys for rocking with us tonight. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning in the New York session. Let's get it, y'all. Have a great rest of y'all night.